Mr. Singh, coming to you first, is this an appropriate time to buy a house given the fact that we are standing at the brink of a turnaround in the rate cycle? Because as rates go down, more buyers will enter the market, which in turn will push up property prices. So, is now the right time to act, or should one wait it out and wait for that rate cut to come by? What would you say?
Nandita, to answer your question, firstly, are the rates going to come down? Is a big question in itself. While the pace of sales have been slow in the last quarter, I see it increasing in Q3 and Q4 of financial year 24-25. So, in the festive season itself, the projections that we are getting right now, we are looking at, top seven cities selling about 1.5 lakh homes across the top seven cities. So, to answer it directly, I would say that if you desperately have a need for a home, it's a good time to buy, and don't treat it as an investment product.
Mr. Singh, I would want to pose this question to you. Would you agree with Mr. Hiranandani? Do you expect a big boost, when sales figures are concerned, especially during the festive season?
The sales are going to be up definitely in the festive season. Okay, and this quarter is going to be the most aggressive quarter of 2024. So yes, to answer your question, we are very, very bullish on how the real estate sales are going to perform in this quarter, and it is an upward trend.
Okay, and Mr. Singh, since we are talking about the rate cycle, how much of a role do global factors have on India's housing market? Because, of course, we've seen major central banks across the United States, Canada, etc. They've also started lowering their interest rates, right? But RBI, of course, is yet to act. And you also mentioned, in your opening comments that whether or not a rate, rates are getting going down or not. That in itself is a question mark right now. So how would you really look at the global scenario, and how would it really impact India's housing market in the current context?
India is an outlier, I would say, in this regard, because whatever the global pressures are, the Indian economy is performing superbly. And I don't see that to be a challenge on the demand front. And I don't think the Indian consumers are bothered with what the global trends are showing at the moment. There is a need for housing, there is a shortage of housing in the country, and people are going to go ahead and make that purchase if the need for the same exists. So global India is kind of, it's not the global pressures are not warranted on the Indian conditions at the moment.
On Mr. Singh, then on the point that Mr. Hiranandani mentioned as to areas wise how things really will pan out. Mr. Singh, you can provide us with a better picture. Just to give you a background, Hyderabad's real estate market witnessed the worst decline in both sales and new launches in the third quarter compared to major metros in the country. On the other hand, we've seen what's happening in Gurugram, which had seen a 89% increase in housing sales and an almost 180% rise in new launches in the same period. Now, at a time when the trends are shifting, which markets should one consider, and should buyers take yield into consideration before buying a house?
Categorically, every market is different. Now, while we have seen a tremendous rise in NCR in terms of pricing, please understand that this is a very investor driven market. And people tend to flock this market when there is an upward trend. I still have a lot of confidence in Bangalore and Hyderabad because it's a very end user driven market, and the pricing is still very, very realistic. So to the way I see this, any real estate growth has to be driven by end use. It can't be investable. It's not an investment product, like I've always said. So it's the end users who is going to drive sustainable growth in this sector going forward. We should not be here for the short term. It's a long term investment. People should look at this investment from a very, very long term standpoint too. And while they're looking to upgrade their current lifestyle and address a housing need that may be lacking in their in their current scenario. So please treat real estate as an end use product. The rental yields in the real estate across the country is between 2 to 3%. So it does not really make sense to invest in real estate for an yield perspective, and it's not right for the market if you're looking for a quick buck out of real estate. So please stay invested only if you are having an end use need, and that is how the market is going to move forward.
Prudent to buy a ready to move in home, or should one invest in an under construction property? What would be more lucrative?
Nandita, a very need-based answer. Okay, it depends on what stage of your life cycle you are in. How important is immediate movement? As per it's about how you're managing your cash flows, basically. If you have the ready money to invest in the property, please by all means go ahead and buy a home which is ready to move in. But if you're still in a stage of planning your cash flows for an aspirational living for the future, go in for an under construction property, because that will give you better options. It gives you a lower entry price point, and the product that you get in time is going to be more futuristic and suitable for your lifestyle. So it all depends on individuals to individuals in what stage of their present life cycle they are in to make that decision.